Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're here to discuss tomorrow's night's game at Celtic Park. Celtic face Livingston, which is the start of a massive few weeks of games for Celtic. I'm joined by Alistair to go over everything. Alistair, I mean, putting it simply, with this kind of run of games that we discussed yesterday, this is the easiest one we're probably going to face over the next few weeks.
It's a banker, Josh, let's be honest. It's an absolute banker. It should be a chance to get your goal difference up. And that's no disrespect to Livingston. That's just what I think, pal. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly looking for a convinced performance more tonight and scoreline.
Aye, no, definitely. I think with Livingston, I can't remember actually the last time they won a game of football, honestly.
I won one all season, and it was the second game of the season against Bolton.
So that's what you're up against. To be honest with you, there's no excuse, and I agree with you 100%, Alistair. There's no excuse why Celtic shouldn't be going out there and getting the goal difference up and getting a decently high score line to get that obviously goal difference up. Because, as I said, with no disrespect to Livingston, it's the easiest game that we've got in terms of
it's the easiest game in the league, Josh.
I would even say it's the easiest game we're going to have because we've got European games coming up as well. They're not going to be easy. I'm not saying tomorrow's going to be easy, but I mean it should be easy. I think I'm going to completely contradict myself there. It should be easy because I expect Celtic to turn up and put in a decent enough performance to maybe give us a crumb of confidence that we can go on this run that we discussed yesterday in Europe and obviously in the European games and the cup game and then kind of be making sure we take all points at all games getting up to that league game at Ibrox. So we need to be scoring a good performance and to give the support a bit of confidence that we can go on that run.
Let's be honest, Josh. I don't want to jump ahead, but the next two games are the bottom two teams in the league. So you've got a right chance here if you do things properly to get your goal average up. And that's no disrespect to the two teams, but especially Livingston at home. I mean, they're practically down. Let's be honest. I mean, let's be realistic. They're down.
No, they're there. I just don't. I generally don't see Livingston winning a game of football this season. If you want my honest opinion on it, watch Celtic now, Livingston 1. It's a certainty after I said that. But obviously, Livingston as well have went through a somewhat of a managerial change. David Martindale was, what would you call it?
Musical chair that's been what the Celtic chairman.
What would you call it? Sack? You wouldn't even call it sack because he's just been moved upstairs. Also, it's new Marvin Bartley that's in charge, who was an assistant under Martindale. So it's just.
I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you.
It's basically. I don't know. It's like
trying to give it to the younger guy. That's what it looks like.
And it's basically telling the older guy, right, you're no good enough, but we don't want to sack you. So it's just, it's strange. I've kind of found it strange when I seen it. But as you said, Alistair, I mean, they've not won a game, as you said, since the second game of the season in the league. I mean,
honestly, they've won one game, mate.
And as you said, they're certs to go down. These kind of next two games, as you say, is against the bottom two teams. Celtic should be really enhancing their goal difference, as you said, if we can go about it properly, especially with how the teams run about as are playing Rangers and Hearts playing each other at the weekend at Ibrox.
Even hard games this midweek, Josh.
Obviously Hearts playing Hibs as we record this, and Motherwell playing Rangers tomorrow night as well. So Celtic need to hopefully, obviously, do their business and hope elsewhere can do us a favour. Obviously, I think unfortunately that's where we're at. We're relying on favours now, and you don't really want to get to that point, but unfortunately that's where we find ourselves.
Yep. The only thing I would say, Josh, is as long as we won the next two games, we know we're guaranteed a a a, a an upturning position and we are in the league because we know somebody's going to drop something because they're playing each other. You just don't know about the more night scores as it stands. Certainly in Rangers' case, and we don't know the night score until the derby's finished. So we're in the mix, mate, and I think after all the turbulence we've had this season, that's all you can ask, really.
I know. It's all you can ask. I mean, it's just these two games should be also used to bed in new signings. Because if they don't get buried in these next two games, then we're not going to be able to see what they're about. And then when it comes to the bigger games, then you're trying to rely on them in that busy schedule. It's not going to work. So
I,
we'll obviously go to team selection in a wee while, but I'd expect to see um I'd expect to see most of the kind of January signings, maybe apart from Arthur or whatever, starting the games because
if
that's what
you're going to start after, this might be one of the games you pinpoint.
I'm going to be honest with you. See, when it comes to Benjamin Arthur,
You don't get it, I know.
I just don't. I don't get the signing. You're not going to put a guy with 3 appearances into a central defence in a league title race if you don't have to. The cup kind of rounds, the kind of easier rounds against your Auckland Lex, they're past now. So you've not got that either. The European games, you're not going to put. So when are you serious injury apart from
Nobody
obviously,
see him. I
aye,
don't.
if a centre half gets injured apart from that, you're not going to see him at all. So it's a completely pointless signing. I said that at the time.
I think
I think it was basically a
I
signing.
honestly.
I think it was basically a signing to make sure Stephen Welsh could go back to Motherwell, if you want my honest opinion.
Well, that Stephen Wells goes.
Um,
That's what I said.
no, I know. But I mean, in terms of like Mavuka and stuff like that, I mean, it's not. As I said, it's not convincing what we're seeing from either. If you want my honest opinion about it, Adamu was a bit more convincing, but and these are the next two games. If these, I know you say key players time and you're trying to bed in, but if Mavuka and Adamu can't stand out against Livingston and Kilmarnock, we're in trouble.
Basically, just I'm not being kind I'm not being unkind to Vuka, but I'm already starting to think. Thank God we never paid £3 million. That's near harm to the boy. I don't want to make a judgment that early. I can only say what I've seen so far. We can only judge it in performances, and as you say, it wasn't convincing.
No. And if he can't stand out against the bottom of the league in the second, bottom of the league in the next two games, it's not going to get any easier than that.
No, I know.
If I'm being honest, and that's what I'm saying. These next two games are you're kind of bedding in games. We need to get a result, but you've got a chance to try and go out and prove yourself ahead of your Stuttgarts in Europe, your Aberdeen at Pittodrie, your cup game at Ibrox, then the league game at Ibrox and stuff like that. You've got the chance to prove that, and if you can't, I hope they do and hope that they go and prove it. But I'm just looking on the other side of the coin. If they don't, you're just starting to seriously question it.
Aye. I mean, see, to be honest with you, mate, I think at least two of the loans were just squad fillers.
I wouldn't even say squad falls. I think it was just to
Numbers.
say well, we're doing something. No, I wouldn't even say numbers either. I just think, especially in the case of Mavuka, I can get Adamu, but Mavuka, I could just with the whole kind of how it kind of transpired on deadline day. It was basically at least we can say we tried and we're trying to do something. Adamu, I can get because Johnny Kenny left the club. and we needed a centre forward. Mavuka just looks to me like, oh, it'll make it look what I've done something type of signing, to be honest.
I was there. It was basically there's your winger. That's
Aye,
what
pretty much. But in terms of obviously the team selection, I mean, I think this run in Alistair, we're going to have a consistent team. You can't. You're going to have to make changes here and there. I get that, but you're going to have a consistent team to allow even the new signings to get used to the team that they're probably going to be playing with kind of most weeks. I mean, goalkeeper Alistair, Spike will remain the same. That's not really a point of discussion.
no.
Araho continue at right back. Again, no real a point of discussion. Trusting Scales, again, no point of discussion. Left back's interesting because Tierney obviously took a bit of a bump against Dundee. I think he's fine, mind you. But
I
would you
believe
see Sriracha?
Sorry, Josh. I was just going to say, Martin O'Neill said today he believes he's got a broken bone in his nose, but I believe he's going to be fine. So,
Could you not play with a mask on or something with him?
well, McGregor have done it. I know that was his job, but I believe he can play with a broken nose, but and a broken bone in the nose. But no, he was saying about Sriracha. I've already said. I think know how we discussed recently when we actually said we would we would put the we would like to see if we could keep Arojo on the other side. Um, I would sign Sriracha. I know he's had injuries, but I've seen enough, Joy. The guy's a quality player, and and to him and Tierney are probably the only two. Is the only position we've got adequate cover for. I
Aye.
would say a proven cover. I could have said that. That would be easier. No, but I've always liked Sriracha. You know that. I'll tell you often enough. I would try and keep him if I could.
So would you play him tomorrow? I'm assuming.
I would because I don't see the point in risking Tierney when
Aye.
you've got adequate cover there.
Especially, I keep saying this, but it could come back and bite us in the arse. But when we've got bigger games coming up, we're going to. Don't get me wrong, if Marcel's are actually was to start winning big games, I would have no problems with it. The midfield, Alistair, this is probably the point of discussion for me. Arne Engels has to come back, and I don't know if there was anything in that. Because
No, I think it was just to to try things, Josh. To be honest,
aye,
I genuinely hope that Arne, my midfield going forward. I'd like to ask you this: if all fit, would be Oxlade Chamberlain, um, Cal McGregor, and Arne Engels. That'd be my three.
um, I don't know because I don't know what we're getting. Oh, it's Oxlade Chamberlain at the moment. Arne Engels for me has to start because Um, they tried to experiment with the midfield on Saturday, and it nearly, he nearly ended up with egg in his face. Martin, to be honest with you, let's be brutally honest with ourselves here.
Bernardo and Hattari were way off it.
Hattari's been off it all season. Bernardo's barely played. You're not going to get any of them, unfortunately. And that's why I know people are talking about making changes because of the busy schedule. But this is where you need to hang me a bit of consistency as well, because especially in the midfield.
Even against Livingston, Joy, you can't make a living as much as you think it's shoot it in again, please Celtic, don't put egg in my faces here. But you can't but cohesion more than anything else. But no, I mean I would like to see I would like to see a bit of the Oxymora just to see where he's at. Cause let's be honest, he's not going to get an easier game to Benjamin
Aye,
win.
no, definitely. I think we will see him at some point. I just don't think he will start the game. I mean, I just he can't. I know this is going to swing because he wasn't very good at the in Saturday again, but you cannot drop Benjamin Neal.
Uh,
He's the only consistent goal scorer on this team, and that probably tells you more about where this team are at. But I don't know how he does it. I genuinely don't. Am I going to need goals in this kind of running? And you can't. He's at the end of these a top goal scorer probably by a decent mile. I think.
oh, well, it will be. I mean, is it not something like 22? I'd need to check it, Josh, but I think it's 22 goal
I
contribution.
think 12 assists and 10 goals or something, or maybe vice
Aye,
versa.
aye. Yeah,
Um,
I get that, Josh, but Benjamin Negro is the ultimate enigma because you think he gets the goals, but you don't see him. I mean, and I know that sounds really stupid, but it's true.
no, as it is just weird. I mean, but I'm pretty simple. If a player's scoring goals, I mean,
You
I
pick
don't
up,
know that
you
they're
pick
not
up.
doing much else. You pick them pretty much. So I could see Negrin coming in with alongside McGregor and Engels. In terms of the front three, I mean, fuck it, probably I would probably put. I don't know. I would maybe go my. I
Yang
don't
on
know.
the right,
Yang
Tunic.
on the right, Taneki on the left, and Adamu up front.
Or so you drop Big Tam. Here's a question, Josh. Would you be tempted to go two up?
No, because we're kind of running, and it goes back to making of, and you do what you've been doing all season. I've no get time to fart about with formations or I get it and I do get it and stuff, but I'm really big behind this whole consistent team and building in a consistent way because it's the only way I think we're going to get momentum. I don't know. I didn't really see much here, damn it. I'm still a bit unsure what we're getting for Calvin Cara, if I'm being honest. Um, I'm still kind of at that point where I'm a bit unsure. I'm a bit unsure about Adamu as well, but I can maybe see what Adamu could maybe bring to this squad. Don't get me wrong, I can see what Calvin Cara could bring, but I'm still a bit confused at what he's there for, if you know what I mean. Um,
Uh,
and I
I
can maybe
think
see a bit with Adamu where he's there.
Adamu's more power, whereas I think Calvin Carr's more ball into feet type of striker, turning and running, and let's be honest, there's no going to be a lot of space, especially the Mora. It's going to be hold the ball in and try and wait off and try and hem them in.
I
Because
think we're going
let's
to need
be
somebody
honest,
that's going to make smart runs in behind
aye,
their defence.
definitely.
And I think Adamu kind of suits that. And he's off the back of scoring. Same with like Taneki, that's why I've started Taneki. I'm a big believer in players who, and don't get me wrong, Kevin Carano scored, obviously in the last
Against
kind of
Falkirk.
in the last league game. So, but at least we've got some options. At least,
Aye, if it's not working, you can toss go go hell for leather, and that's what I will say. Especially in the forward area, Josh, you've got
uh,
an option there to change it. I know it's none as I've picked my either.
it's a difficult subject that is, but he's not been good enough. You can't. Nobody can sit there and tell me, and I'm past the stage where he's undroppable. He is droppable. He's not been good enough this season. I'm sorry, and like you said, probably both of us. I like Maeda, right, and he's been brilliant for Celtic. But there's there's players Yang and Taneki that they're doing more than what, and they're maybe not doing as much either, but they're doing more than what Maeda's doing. If you
I
want to
mean,
be honest.
I felt sorry for Young at the weekend because he was subbed over to the left, and that didn't really work. To be
No, he's
fair,
a right winger. If you want to get the best of him. But
definitely.
no, I've no pick Maeda. I just think there's there's players who are off him more in the pecking order than what Maeda is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's annoying to say, but now we've got a bit more cover. I can at least. I hope he kind of picks up for him. I just don't see it. It's a guy that unfortunately, like Hatate, that's checked out.
And what
Um,
there's I would uh, the one player I would say that is undroppable at the minute, certainly for the league games, is Arne Engels for me because they were a big midfield shaped hole in Saturday in terms of controlling the game and stuff. I don't know if you thought that, Josh, but I really thought when Engels wasn't there, by God, you noticed it.
and that's what I was saying. Like Martin O'Neill kind of made a lot of changes and it nearly kind of put egg on his face because we could have been at the cup. No, Arne Engels at the moment. I've made it clear as Celtic's best
Best
kind of
man.
defensive midfielder at the moment. And I think probably that will just show a game where we're at this season in terms of quality. But because I don't think Arne Engels has been flat on the rating or been absolutely world class, but he just shows it up a bit more.
He's got the height and he's got a wee bit of the aggression that I would like in my midfielder.
Because like I don't know, I think when Negrin obviously he's not got the mobility probably of what other players we've had in the past have. So you kind of need to play with that two defensive midfield kind of role, or like put Engels as a box to box, but can be able to get back and defend. Negrin's not going to really do that for you. Hopefully that'll
Nutrients
be like
will get leg.
Oxley Chamberlain will come in and do that. That's what the hope for the aim is, that he's kind of got to be like similar to Engels, where he can kind of is good in both boxes.
I mean, Oxley Chamberlain's kind of like a Jackie all trades. For what I remember, he can do everything.
Aye,
Certainly at his peak, he could do everything.
aye.
But no seen him play for ages.
No, I know. But what was it? I mean, Arne Engels should be starting. All these big kind of games. Maybe maybe Oxley Chamberlain will come in. And, a few of the games which I can see happening. Um, but in terms to finish up, Alistair, I mean, score predictions. Um, I'll go first this time. Gonna go 4-0.
I'm going to go mental and go 6. I think it'll
And
be
Liam
6.
says 2.
I think if you get one early, Josh, let's be honest. I've got maybe this is just hope my part. I think Celtic are due to batter somebody, and I think it might be poor Livingston. It should
Aye,
be, but at the end of the day, mate, just one. But I'd like goals to be fair.
aye, no, definitely. But no, hopefully we can just obviously get a win first and foremost, and obviously put a decent enough performance and a few
And the
goals together, which would be good.
and the good.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
no,
The
so
The only thing I was going to say, Joe, the good thing is we kick off before Rangers, so it'd be good to be 1-2 up maybe by the time they kick off. No, that I want much sell it, but please, if you could do that, I'd be really grateful.
no, but a win at the most, and hopefully a few goals and a decent performance. But I'm going to wrap it up there for the preview. We'll be back probably on Thursday with post-match reaction. Hopefully, we're talking about a Celtic win, and hopefully, we're talking about Celtic being a bit closer to that top spot in the league. Until next time, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hell, hell.